Hi folks, so I tried to record this earlier as I was leaving for the ride, and my neighbor was busy in his yard with yard work. So here we are at the end of the ride. So I'm recording this video basically because if any of you are following Hammerhead's blog in various places, they made a request for people to join their, I guess what they're calling their advanced testing group, which means basically that you get the software a week ahead of time and you're a guinea pig for them. So I was sort of on the fence about applying, and then I thought I should put my money where my mouth is. If I'm going to complain, I might as well, and I have the device now that I can't return it, so I might as well help try to make it better. So I did ride with the software. I got the software yesterday or the day before. I did ride with it last night with a route. The big improvement there is that they've increased or improved the granularity of the turn directions. So when you're approaching a turn, instead of it going from 2 miles to 1 mile, it goes from 2 miles to 1.9 miles to 1.8 miles. And then as you get really close, I don't recall what the distance was. I remember seeing 750 feet, so it may be, well, it's under it. I guess it would be over a tenth of a mile, but I'm not really sure. But I do remember seeing feet, and it does count down fairly nicely. 500, 450, 320. It's pretty good, depending on the refresh rate, which I would guess is probably about every second. It does seem to do a good job of giving you much more detailed directions as to the turn. So if you had two turns in rapid succession, instead of just getting a left arrow or a right arrow, and the counter going down to basically 0, which is what it did before, you get feet. So if there's two turns close together, you'll know which one is the right one. The other change was an update to some of the data fields that are larger, or I guess not so much larger. I guess what I'm talking about are things like 20-minute average power, 1 hour average power. So I guess what was I've never used them before, so I don't know, but I guess what was happening was that until you hit that 20-minute mark, you were getting nothing in that data field. Now it will kind of count up, and then as you get to every 20 minutes or after 20 minutes, then it will average the previous 20 minutes, or if it's an hour, it will average the last hour. So that's my assumption of how it works. I don't use those fields. I guess I could try it at some point. But those were the two main functions or main updates that I saw. They haven't told me that I'm not allowed to talk about this, so I assume they're hoping some people will talk about it. Probably what I will do is put bullets over the front part of this clip and show you what the actual improvements are. And there were some bug fixes too, but I don't remember what they are off the top of my head. So one thing to note tonight is that it may have been visible at the beginning of the clip, but the Garmin is back on the bike, and that's really not because I don't trust this, because I did ride with this solo last night, but I actually thought it might be interesting to see the data, and for the most part it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna have to hit save on the Garmin because I tried to stop them at the same time, and because of the way the data fields work on the two devices, basically because of the screen real estate, some things you can see and some things you can't. But when I paused this or when I stopped it to save the ride, the distance was identical. The power was weird because I display normalized lap power on my Garmin, and this is displaying normalized power for the whole ride, so I don't really have a good way to compare those just on the screen. So maybe what we'll do is, I haven't done this in a while because I haven't ridden with the Garmin in a while, but maybe I'll go inside and quickly do a comparison in Golden Cheetah just to see. I really do expect that these are going to be very close. I don't have any reason to believe that they're not going to be, because as I was riding and watching them, they were basically dead nuts on. So that's about it. I will try to paste in or bulletize at the beginning of this clip the changes. So I guess what I'm going to do is save this, and I can show you. So today is let's see, I gotta look at my watch. Friday the 13th. Oh great, Friday July 13th. We'll just skip this for now and upload it later. So if I go into settings here, if I go into settings and do about and do system update, you can see that I'm on subversion 143 of version 1.5. So if you have one of these and you're wondering how I have version 143 before you do, that's why. I don't know how many people they selected for this. I think they said around 50. Supposedly they got 500 applications, which is interesting just in the sheer numbers. But I guess that's it. So we'll probably go inside and do a quick data comparison and keep this video relatively short, and thanks for watching. So here's the two rides. The one we just did, the clip you just saw. Sorry, this is the next day, so it's actually July 14th now. I'm going to hopefully snap this together very quickly and get it up to YouTube. But generally, everything's fine. There is some notable, I guess, gap here in the time. I'm pretty sure I hit the computer buttons at the same time, or reasonably close. I certainly wasn't off by 6 minutes or 2 minutes. I know that when I stopped them at the identical time, because I was basically in my driveway when I did that, so I could take both hands off and hit the buttons. Anyway, things that we're having problems with way back in the day are significantly better. Obviously, the distance is within 4/100ths of a mile. That's a wash. Moving time, I'm going to chalk that up to the Karoo's auto pause, because it's really laggy. It takes several seconds when you stop for the icon to appear, and I don't know if it's pausing the ride before that ahead of time and it's just a refresh rate thing on the screen. Doesn't seem like that's reasonable, but so and it really shouldn't be off by 6 minutes here. Like, again, the same ride, I don't remember stopping a lot, but they both did have pause on, and so I have to chalk most of this up to how laggy it is when the Karoo senses that you stopped, and then how long it takes for it to pick up from movement. And with the Garmin, at least you can hear it. That's the one beep that I actually do have on the Garmin, is the kind of auto pause, auto start. So I pretty much can hear when it's doing that. All these other numbers are good. Normalized power, or whatever this is. This isn't actually normalized, but it's something close. The speed, I'm going to chalk this up to the fact that the distance was the same, but it's got me moving for 2 minutes longer on the Garmin, so the average speed has dropped. This average power is weird. I'm not sure why this is off by 13 when all the other numbers seem pretty good, but that could just be variation in the day. I can't remember if this has happened recently, but I actually haven't had the Garmin on, so I don't have a way to compare that. Max speed, max heart rate, all those things are good. The power zones actually seem, considering how off everything else is, the power zones actually seem pretty good. They're only off by 18 seconds, 19 seconds plus or minus, and then this, I think, the big 9-minute gap here, I think accounts again for that auto pause, because obviously you're generally putting out 0 power when you're stopped. And then the heart rate zones, I guess I didn't, those also look pretty good. Let's see, ride. Oh. Yeah, so again, the Karoo is in purple, the Garmin is in blue. Most of this stuff looks good. I'm not sure what these kind of weird, this is heart rate here? I'm having a hard time reading the screen today. I'm guessing this is when I pause. That's probably a stoplight that I hit. This might have been, I'm sure this was a stoplight, because I got hung up at one for quite a while. Not sure why the Karoo's line goes on for so long here, because I know I stopped that. You know what? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just paused the ride. So that could account for
it's possible that I just paused and hadn't actually completed the save activity. So I guess we're not going to I guess we're not going to count this against the crew because I may, but based on this chart, it looks like I left the crew in a pause state manually before I hit save, whereas the Garmin just sort of stopped recording, and either that or the line is directly behind it. So I don't know. Maybe the time's not as bad as I thought. But the power curve looks fine. Let's see what else we got here. Um, those other things look actually pretty good. So we're going to close this out. If you have been, thanks for watching.